Well, we're slowly making our way to the end of this series looking at the OHL team histories. And today we're going to talk about the Brantford Bulldogs. Well, we're going to talk about the Bulldogs because I'm going to include the Hamilton Bulldogs time because they just moved to Brantford this past season. So for the Brantford Bulldogs, 2023 is the year they relocated down the 403. And before that, they spent a few years in Hamilton from 2015 to 2023. And they started their franchise off in Belleville as the Belleville Bulls. That was from 1981 until 2015. And I'm just going to add a note here that the Belleville Bulls, I still think, had the best jerseys in the Ontario Hockey League's jersey history. The black home jerseys with the bull on front, the black, yellow, and red colors, spot on. It'd be great if we could somehow get that back in the OHL, but time will tell. And this isn't a video about jerseys, so we're going to get back on track talking about the Bulldogs organization. And they have had so much success in a short time since Michael Andlauer purchased the Belleville Bulls and moved them to Hamilton. And Andlauer, he's just got such a strong passion for the city of Hamilton and hockey in general. So he purchased the Belleville Bulls because the Montreal Canadiens relocated their farm team from Hamilton to St. John's to become the Ice Caps. So the Belleville Bulls, they were a team looking for a new arena in Belleville, but that wasn't happening. So Andlauer put in an offer and purchased the team and quickly relocated them to the First Ontario Center. That first year, they were still wearing the American Hockey League jerseys. So they were still that red and white color from the Montreal Canadiens, but they would then adopt the following season the black and yellow colors that we are more familiar with now in the Ontario Hockey League with the Bulldogs organization. But the Bulldogs, the name dates back to 1996. And at the time, it was seen as the best name to represent the city at the time. And I'd have to agree. Whenever you think of hockey in the city of Hamilton, you think of the Bulldogs. It goes hand in hand. So some great marketing there for the team going back to the mid 90s. But the current version of the Bulldogs, they were forced to find a temporary home a year ago because of renovations that were planned for the First Ontario Center. So because of that, they explored different markets. They looked at Brampton, they looked at Cornwall, but settled on Brantford. So they moved to the Telephone City last summer, and they haven't looked back. And they've been embraced so well by the city of Brantford. The fans just so passionate to have the Ontario Hockey League in their city. Considering Brantford has been used as a bargaining chip in the past, as a potential landing site, as a relocation for other teams, and it just never happened. But this time, Brantford making good on that, and now looking at the possibility of a brand new arena being built. We still have to wait for City Council to make that next decision in the planning phase. That's supposed to come in the fall. I was actually talking to somebody from Brantford just a couple weeks ago, and they were telling me how they're cautiously optimistic. They want to wait and see if council will actually follow through on their promise. But still, I went to the first game when the Barrie Colts were in Brantford, and I got to say the passion was off the charts. You could just sense the excitement of having junior hockey in Brantford, and the Bulldogs kind of feeding off that. They have that 3-year agreement during the renovations that they play in Brantford with an option for 3 more depending on the renovations in Hamilton. But since then, Michael Andlauer earlier this year came out and said that if they build a new arena in Brantford, they'll stay. So there's your commitment, and I think it's a good fit to have Brantford in the OHL circuit. So that's where we stand right now, but let's look at how this team has done since moving to Hamilton as the Bulldogs. I'm going to look at their scoring leaders. This does not include the Belleville Bulls. I'm thinking about doing a separate video looking at their history because the Belleville Bulls history is also very fascinating. They have some great competitive teams and great talent who've gone through the organization. So this just looks at Bulldogs in Hamilton and Brantford. Starting off with Arthur Kaliev. He leads the franchise in scoring 126 goals, 122 assists, good for 248 points. 1 point behind him in second is Matthew Strome, 115 goals, 132 assists, 247 points. Then we have Logan Morrison with, he's third, 91 goals, 143 assists, good for 234 points. Brandon Sagan, he is fourth overall with 196 points. Avery Hayes, fifth, 90 goals, 77 assists, 167 points during his time with the Bulldogs. Patrick Thomas, he finds himself in sixth with 44 goals, 105 assists, 149 points. Seventh is Will Bitton, 43 goals, 78 assists, 121 points. Ben Gleason is in the 8th spot overall for the franchise with 22 goals, 97 assists, 119 points. Nathan Steos, he is 9th overall with 21 goals, 86 assists, 107 points. And rounding up the top 10 is Matt Luff with 52 goals, 54 assists, 106 points. Shifting our focus now to the goaltenders, top 5 in wins. Mateo Drobak leads the way with 66. He set that this past season in Brantford. Drobak, I felt it was really an underrated goalie in the Ontario Hockey League, and he was able to make that help keep the Brantford Bulldogs competitive all last season, and was rewarded for it, getting the wins included there. So 66 leads the team's franchise in wins. Number 2, Caden Fulcher, 55 wins during his time with the Bulldogs. Marco Costantini, 3rd overall in franchise wins with 42. In 4th, we have Zachary Waugh with 34. And Nick Donofrio, he is 5th with 20 wins to his credit. Now, in such short order, the Bulldogs, already 11 players have gone on to play in the National Hockey League. Not all surprising with the success this organization has had with 2 championships since moving from Belleville. So let's look at the playoff record books, I guess we could say, since 2016. That first year after the move from Belleville, they missed the playoffs, but since then, they've been a regular team in the postseason. 2017, they lost in the first round to the Kingston Frontenacs in 7 games. 2018, a magical run for the Hamilton Bulldogs. They ended up winning the OHL championship in 6 games over the Sioux Greyhounds. And then at the Memorial Cup, placed 3rd. So they ended up losing in the semifinal. So a great run in 2018. 2019, they ended up losing in the first round to the Ottawa 67s. That was in 4 games. There were no playoffs in 2020 or 2021. In 2022, OHL champions for the 2nd time in franchise history. This time, they defeated the Windsor Spitfires in 7 games and then lost in the Memorial Cup final to the St. John Sea Dogs. After that, in 2023, they were knocked out in the first round by the Barrie Colts in 6 games. I got to cover that series, and I have to say that was probably one of the top playoff series I was able to cover during my broadcast time. The 2 teams going back and forth, and we saw Anson Thornton score the goalie goal, Brant Clark the Michigan move, but then we also saw this Hamilton Bulldogs team that was really feisty. They had this determination. Sanwar had a great series as well. I know there's some controversy with some hits that were delivered, but man, oh man, such a great series between the Colts and the Bulldogs in 2023. 2024 would be the first playoff appearance as the Brantford Bulldogs, and they ended up being upset in the first round by the Ottawa 67s. That was in 6 games. So 2 OHL championships since their move from Belleville in 2018 and 2022, which is pretty remarkable. What they've been able to do, the management, the scouting staff, it's been a well-run franchise, and we'll have to wait and see what happens next, because this team does have a promising future in Brantford. Solid community support, like I said, in their first season. And we should be getting more details in the fall as they look to build a new 5,000-seat arena, which would be located next to the current Brantford Civic Center. So it's OHL hockey alive and well in Brantford since the Brantford Alexanders left 40 years ago. And we'll see what happens next. So that's how I see it from the booth. Let me know in the comments section down below maybe your favorite moments for the Bulldogs, be it in Hamilton or Brantford. I love to see the interactions. The channel continues to grow, so I appreciate all of your support. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you haven't subscribed as of yet, as you'll be notified about the next team history video that we have coming up. Again, thank you for all your support. Talk to you again soon.